Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Staten.
The Tusculum Pioneers lead 14-11 as we pick up action in the second quarter with the Pioneers driving. Your second quarter highlights brought to you by Applebee's.
Again, Brian, we've executed. Unfortunately, they did as well. I forgot they did go for 2 there to make it 14-11. But we got to make these catches. That's a true freshman on our team there. Xavion's got to bring that ball down, and he's going to be a great player for us. He's got to relax and make that big catch and convert. Here they bring a little heat. We don't see it, don't pick it up, and they get to Bo. And, you know, Bo really does a good job of getting in and out of things. And here we get a pass interference call that gives us the first down.
So the Pioneers driving that on 3rd down and 19, the pass interference. Tusculum getting inside the 20, inside the red zone on this reception. And just a good hit. Helmet on the ball, popping the ball loose from Deontay Gist.
Yeah, Deontay actually had it tucked, and they just made a good play. And here Terrence Smith's got to get this young man on the ground, and we don't run him down. He does a good job executing. And you know, there's only about 5 or 6 plays throughout the day defensively we didn't make, and then they did make, and that's one of them right there.
It's the longest rush of the year for the LR Bears. And it's not that time-consuming type of a drive, but they do take the lead. They've scored 18 unanswered now and lead 18-14. Pioneers take the field, 1st and 10 to Fred Jones for 9 yards. And then a little miscue right here. New center, because Brandon Priest was injured in this football game. Kaiser, who played great against Wingate. I don't know if it was just miscommunication between he and Bo or not, but you fumble, recover it, but have to punt.
Sure. It's not good. Actually, I think it was 4th down, Brian. We went 4th there and didn't get it, if I remember correctly, but might have been 3rd. But anyway, we put the ball on the ground on a bad snap, and we just got to work a little bit better, and our defense takes the field and does a good job. And we get the ball back, and here we hit Brian Marshall. Brian's been a really good player for us, sophomore from down in Ottawa High School in Chattanooga, and executing. We throw it out there to him again, and he's really doing a good job getting north and south.
Brian Marshall on this afternoon was a lot more effective, as were everybody outside of the running game. Bo Cordell really wasn't sure he was going to get up after this hit, took a big shot, looked like it was right on his helmet, but he's tough as nails. That was on a 3rd down and 10 rush. He goes for 2, so we send on Gareth Rowlands for the field goal, which pretty much now, this year, money.
Yeah, I told him I'm getting very comfortable when we send him out there expecting to make them all, and he just does such a good job for us. But here we're executing, a great job there. I think that's Marcus Jackson and 6'6", Terrence Smith, both doing a good job. Marcus was injured there for a while, and we're glad to have him back. He played very, very good for us on Saturday, one of our senior leaders as well. And here we hit Freddie Jones again out of the backfield, and we're starting to make some things happen once again.
So the Pioneers forced back-to-back punts on the LR Bears and really keep the ball out of their hands, which is what they want to do. They lead the conference in time of possession. Offensively, 33 minutes, and the Pioneers had the ball a lot in that first half. But, Coach, you run into some problems right there at the end, that final drive. You're looking to get some points out of it. They put a lot of pressure on you defensively, came up with a couple of sacks, force you out of that range.
Yeah, a couple of good sacks by them, and unfortunately we were hanging on the ball a little bit, or they were doing a good job in the secondary, and just the way the day went. We go in at halftime. I felt pretty good about where we were because it was, I think, 18-17 or something like that, and we'd won the time of possession. We'd won everything we talked about winning. We just had to go out and finish the ball game, which unfortunately we didn't.
The Tusculum Pioneers trail by 1 going into the break at the half. We'll come back with much more. The Frankie DeBusk Show right after this.
Whenever there's a project to make our community a better place to live, you'll always find our local merchants right there doing all they can to help. From sponsoring the kids' ball teams to serving barbecue at a community picnic, they're always there. Be community-minded. Shop and invest locally. Greenville Federal Bank, member FDIC. Banking made easy.
Community-minded, just like you.
The best deal in the neighborhood just got better, with more to love on the 2 for $20 meal only at Applebee's. Applebee's is a proud sponsor of the Frankie DeBusk TV show and side of the Frankie DeBusk radio show. Applebee's on the bypass in Greenville. There's no place like the neighborhood. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day.
Coach, what makes a winning team?
A winning team is individuals that are working toward one common goal.
Coach, for over 30 years, Andrew Johnson Bank has been a winning team here in Greene County. It has always been our goal to provide superior service to our customers.
Andrew Johnson Bank will never quit providing extra effort to make loyal customers in the community.
Thank you, Coach DeBusk.
Thank you, Monica. Andrew Johnson Bank scores points with friendly customer service, top-notch bank products, and convenient locations. Tusculum College and Andrew Johnson Bank are a winning team.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Staten.
The Tusculum Pioneers trail 18-17 to start the second half, with the LR Bears driving and a little bit more comfortable in their offensive set. We'll take a look at your third quarter highlights, brought to you by Greenville Light and Power.
Unfortunately, Brian, they executed and held the football the biggest part of the second half. Here they're trying to run a throwback to the quarterback pass, and Marcus Jackson just does what he's coached to do, does a phenomenal job covering the quarterback and hold him to another field goal. You know, it's 18-17. They got a field goal kicker going on the field that's not been very consistent, and he makes it. Again, we're still in the ball game and still moving the chains and doing what we got to do. It's just our time is becoming an issue because they hang on to the ball so well.
Don't think you're pressing. Obviously, that first drive was 14 plays, 56 yards, 6 minutes and 49 seconds. Rashad Carter, maybe one of the better catches all season long.
Yeah, great job by Rashad going down and getting the football. No question it was a catch. But he did a really good job of bending down there and making Bo look good, and I think it was third down actually too.
The Pioneers convert on 3rd down and 6, as they have done all year. Again, 50% on this football game as well. And the Pioneers then just kind of run into some problems. A holding penalty takes them back, a loss of 4 on a catch for Gist. You look for Gist a couple of times downfield. Takes a big hit on this one on a ball just a little bit behind. So they force a punt, and Randy Rossetti, Special Teams Player of the Week this week for you. Great average, 3 punts, 43-yard average on the day.
Really proud of Rossetti. He's really come into his own, did a great job changing the field position for us. And here we take the field on defense. We actually, Tamaji Jones has got him covered, doing what we want done there, and they throw a bad ball behind him, and he unfortunately stops and makes the catch on a big 3rd down.
Nick Stutz, who led the team in receptions coming in with 26, had just 1 on the day, but that was it from 31 yards. And their second biggest pass play of the day. But then really David Little, 4 tackles behind the line of scrimmage, 1 shy of his school record, comes up with maybe even a shoestring tackle on Major Herron.
Great job by David. He's again one of the seniors we're talking about that it's slowly coming to an end for him, and he's playing his heart out, giving it everything he has. And again, their field goal kicker comes on and makes another kick.
A 47-yarder. It was a season long for Corp. He was 0 for 3 on kicks beyond 40 yards, but not on this particular day. Just seemed to be in the zone. Pioneers have the ball after another time-consuming 8-play, 43-yard drive that took 4:09 off the clock. Fred Jones for 10 yards, 2nd down and 20. Rashad Carter for 5 after a holding. It just seems like you couldn't make up ground after you committed that 1 penalty or were flagged for that 1 penalty. And again, another drive that has to end in a punt attempt, but the Riverboat Gambler gambling right here near midfield, and Andy Rossetti, if he gets this ball down just a little bit, Calvin Brett has an easy 1st down.
Yeah, Andy executed like we asked him to, and unfortunately he probably put a little too much air under this ball, and Calvin makes the catch, and wish he could have stayed in bounds. Right there he steps out of bounds. I think it was 4th and 20, and we end up getting 16 instead of the 20 that we need. And, again, Brian is trying to steal another possession back there, and it's one of those calls I was excited to make. It looked like we had it, and well, we did have it. We just didn't get 20. We got 16, so unfortunate there for us.
The Tusculum Pioneers, usually when that starts happening, the other team starts to figure something out. LR had something figured out. They just forgot to defend one of the most dangerous wide receivers on this football team. Pioneers still trails. We head to the 4th quarter. We'll take a look at those highlights when the Frankie DeBusk Show continues right after this.
Whenever there's a project to make our community a better place to live, you'll always find our local merchants right there doing all they can to help. From sponsoring the kids' ball teams to serving barbecue at a community picnic, they're always there. Be community-minded. Shop and invest locally. Greenville Federal Bank, member FDIC. Banking made easy.
Just like you.
Green Coach Charters and Tours has been proudly serving the traveling public for 65 years and is the official carrier of Tusculum College. If you have never traveled by Green Coach, may we invite you to join them for an exciting travel adventure. Visit online at greencoach.com. Anything you'll ever need to rent or buy is at Grand Rental Station. Business, commercial, or residential, from forklifts to backhoes to tents, party goods, wedding supplies, and much more. On the Andrew Johnson Highway in Greenville, Grand Rental Station, 639-6160. Consumer Credit Union. Loans? We can do that. 3 locations in Greenville and Mossheim. At Consumer Credit Union, everybody can join. Visit online at consumercreditunion.com.
Welcome back to the Frankie DeBusk Show, the special presentation of the Pioneer Sports Network. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers, Brian Staten.
The Tusculum Pioneers go to the fourth quarter, with the Tusculum Pioneers trailing 24-17 after the fourth down pass to Calvin Britt fails. LR picks up the ball to start the fourth quarter. We take a look at your fourth quarter highlights, brought to you by Sodexo.
You know, Brian, really starting to feel it now. We're going to have to execute every single chance we get it, and they execute here and get in the end zone. And you know, when the head coach makes a call and fake a punch, you really hope we can hold them, but unfortunately we didn't. And they score, and we take the field. And this is a great run by Brian Marshall. He breaks 4 or 5 tackles and changes the field position in a hurry. Again, he's really coming into his own, and we must remember Brian's only a sophomore. And good effort here by Calvin being downfield blocking for him. They got some guys pursuing. We got guys trying to block and create something better for Brian. And good job up front. We had Lee Kaiser came into the game at center for us, a true freshman after we lost Brandon Priest. And there's Hannibal Ruiz, one of his 10 knockdowns on the day, our offensive lineman, who does a great job giving Bo time to scramble around and find Deontay Gist in the back of the end zone. Good touchdown for us here to keep the game alive.
Deontay Gist, 11 receptions, 109 yards. That is only his second touchdown of the season. Hard to believe that, but indeed it is. Brian Marshall, 5 receptions on the day for 74 yards, another important one coming up. And then another onside attempt. Gareth had executed brilliantly before. I thought Devin Pointer was going to touch that ball up to at least help out in the field position. It didn't happen that way. So here it's 4th down and a yard for the LR Bears, and Heron just gets a little extra effort to pick up a first down. Key on this drive because LR is chewing up the clock here in this second half. The Pioneers really struggling just to get the football. High snap, and then on 4th down and 2, what can you say? Again, threading the needle in between, I think, 2 or 3 Pioneer defenders.
Yeah, we're there. We just got to make that play. And again, Brian, they have a bad snap, and it's so they run the old traditional fire call like anybody practices and does. And we got guys standing out there, and their holder's a former quarterback who does a good job throwing a pass there. I thought there was some linemen downfield, and there wasn't after I looked at the film and talked to some people. And they do a good job of keeping the ball and moving the chains and keeping them alive.
David Little with his 4th tackle for loss on the afternoon on 3rd down, resulting in just a field goal attempt for Corp, which he makes from 36. So now 34-24 after a 6-minute, 8-second drive. Pioneers take to the field, quickly look for Calvin Britt, get a pass interference. Then face 4th down and 10 here. And Brian Marshall really, at the time didn't think much of it, but boy, got out just right on top of the line at the 50-yard line for the first down.
Did a great job there catching the football, good execution, good call by Mark, and here's a good job, a good screen we ran to Michael Rodriguez, who's hanging on the ball there and trying to give it everything he's got, stretching, and just really proud of how Michael's playing for us and excited about what our kids are bringing. Again, Michael's a junior. Here's another junior catching the football, and Rashad Carter. Maybe I'm trying to make myself feel better about how many underclassmen we're playing with, but these guys are still fighting like crazy and giving it everything we have.
That on 3rd down and 8 for the Pioneers. Carter for 18 yards, and it's 2nd down and 10, and Bo Cordell was looking for Deontay Gist, and quite honestly, good thing that he tipped the ball.
Yeah, Bo took a shot there, and here he takes another shot, but stands in there and makes another throw to Deontay. And Bo, people don't realize again how physically and mentally tough Cordell is. He's got a great arm and runs our offense like we want him to, but he takes some shots and gets up and continues to execute. And we try another onside kick here, and we've tried more onside kicks, I think, than any team in the country. And unfortunately, they get the football and are able to run out the clock. And